live. The Michigan Wolverines have defeated the Penn State Nittany Lions, blown them out 110-69. What a win! What a victory! Made me reminisce back to earlier in the seasons when everything was firing on all cylinders. 3-pointers were falling. They had the inside game going. They were playing well together, sharing the ball, barely any turnovers. Great defense on the other side, inside and out, and what a win. And then we got to see a bunch of backup players that don't get a lot of chance to shine, including Oscar Goodman, the ginger assassin, who scored quite a few points, made some great plays on his birthday. That was pretty cool to see as well. What a win. What a game. I really wanted to see them come out and just do what a team with their talent should do against a lesser opponent, and that is completely demolish them. And they did just that. What a win. It was fantastic to watch, fun to watch, and also I love that in the second half they kept up the energy, they came out strong, and they kept playing well. The last few games they've played well in the first half and then started off slow. So that was good to see them play a complete game. And yes, it was Penn State, but earlier in the year, the Penn State game was a little tight. So it was good to see them take care of business, look good doing it. And now I'm looking forward to them playing Ohio State on Sunday. Ray is here. What's up, Ray? That's right. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. And a great signing day. We got a great recruiting class for football. Yesterday, I got a video coming out tomorrow all about the recruiting class, breaking that down. So look forward to that. But tonight, we're talking about Michigan basketball and what a special team we've got here. I think that moves them to 21-1 overall. And then in the Big Ten, now they're 11-1, tied with Illinois, who is on a tear and destroyed Northwestern the other night. So they're going to be a tough game, but another great test, which I'm looking forward to. It's all these tests that Michigan is getting are only going to help them when the tournament comes, because they're gonna run into some good teams. So definitely steel sharpens steel. So all these good teams in the Big Ten, it's only good for them. This was just awesome. Let's take a look at the stats here. I'm going to share my screen. We'll take a look at the team stats first, and then we'll go through those, and then we'll take a look at individual stats. So let me share my screen, and we'll talk about it. Man, what a game. Thanks to everybody that's hanging out in here. I appreciate you. Thanks, Ray, for dropping a comment. Anybody else, feel free, drop a comment. Give me your thoughts on the game. Let me know where you're watching from. Anything that you want to talk about. Ask me a question. It's all fair game. We're just in here to hang out and have some fun for a while. All right, so got the screen shared. Let me pull it up on here. I'm going to make it big. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. So, first of all, you can see over there, pretty awesome stuff. If I look to the left, it's because I have another device here. I'm logged in to make sure that I don't have problems like I did last time where you couldn't see me for half the stream. Okay, so here we go. First of all, heck yeah, Namara Burnett. I know we'll talk more about individual stats in a minute, but man, it was fun to watch him light it up, was it not? Gosh, that was awesome. His threes were falling, which is awesome, but also we saw him go after, attack, be aggressive, and I think he could be such a huge player. He's very talented. He's kind of settled into this 3-point specialist, supporting role, but he has some game. He can go and get a bucket. He can dunk. He can drive. He's strong. He can finish. And I think so many defenders and so many teams are used to him just shooting threes that he'll catch a lot of people flat-footed without help behind them, nobody rotating over, and he can just drive it like that. And if he can consistently start doing that, not only is he going to score a lot of points and help us, but that's going to open it up for other guys as well. So I hope that he learns from tonight and he does that more, because I think that's there a lot of games and he just doesn't take it. All right, so team stats. Let me make sure nobody left me a comment real quick. All right, we're good. So we got field goal percentage. Michigan shot so good, 61%. That's insanity. Oh man, I'll have to search that up tonight, because I'm just curious, when the last time we shot that good was. This, I'm sure this season they had some really good shooting games early in the year, but over 60% is wild. 3-point percentage 52%, and look at Penn State. That's what killed us last game. They were making shots inside and outside, which inside is not their game, but sometimes they can get hot from three, and they had a terrible night. And I think that a lot of that was our defense. We really played tough, solid defense all night on the perimeter, and that if they can do that, and our shots are falling, and you have someone like Burnett, somebody stepping up and scoring 30 points, who's not usually one of your high scorers, this team can just be so lethal and hard to beat when they're clicking. It was so beautiful to watch. But 3-point percentage, fantastic. Free throw percentage, great. They only missed a couple. And Penn State got to the free throw line a lot more than us, so nobody can complain about the refs tonight. Rebounds, way big advantage for us, which was one of my keys to victory, along with 3-point defense. And we really cleaned it up on the defensive end, and we out rebounded them on the offensive end too. But lots of assists. Like I said, we were sharing the ball, played good defense, a lot of blocks and steals. We only had 9 turnovers, which was good. We still have more turnovers than the other team, which is the usual thing, but still, points in the paint, that's another huge area that we needed to do good in this game, and they did. Fouls, like I said, we had more. We led by 46 at one point, and we led for 97% of the game. I think early on, that had because we got out to a pretty big lead, so it must have been at the very beginning of the game when they had a lead. But man, what a game! Big Farm is here. What's up? Thanks for being here. Burnett, the fire was lit. McKinney is threatening his minutes. I know. I agree with you. I was just going to say that too. The way McKinney's been playing, I think Burnett's like, all right, I got to step it up. I got to do something else with my game, right? I agree with you 100%. If we can have both of them playing at a high level, ooh, man, that's good stuff. All right, let's take a look at their individual stats here. All right, so we don't. Well, let's look at Penn State real quick. They didn't have anybody score over 20 points, which was awesome. And Mingo, kind of their star player, he only had 7 points and shot 2 of 10. So we did a really good job against them. And number 1, Mason Blackwood off the bench. He played pretty good last time against us. We shut him down. They had, a couple guys get some decent points, but some of those came in garbage time too. So we just played excellent. So let's look at Michigan's starters here. We had Yexel only scored 6 points. It's pretty awesome when he can have just a chill night and not do a ton. Morris Johnson, great game for 18 minutes, 12 points, 8 rebounds. Mara, same thing, 11 and 6. They both didn't have to play that much tonight, which is awesome. Cadeau had a great game, no turnovers, only 7 points, but again, he didn't have to play much. But he did shoot not great from 3-point, but overall for the season, he's still shooting in the 40%, I think, 42, something like that. So he's going to have some off nights, he's going to have some on nights, but if he can distribute the ball, he had 8 assists. Like if you have 8 assists and 0 turnovers, you're doing your job as a point guard. It doesn't matter if you're not shooting 3 well that night. And then Burnett, of course, was the story here. Just rocked it out. 7 of 10 from 3. Man, shot really well from the field as well. He was just all over the place. And yeah, I think that's there a lot of the time. They give that to him. A lot of teams do. He's got to take advantage of it. And Oscar Goodman, the Red Death, the Ginger Assassin. It was awesome to see him play. He's really good on the scout team, I've read. And you can see it. He plays hard. He's tough. So that was pretty awesome to see him have a great night on his birthday. Ended up with 6 points. He did miss the only 3-pointer. The roof would have blown off the place probably if he made that one. He did have a block. I don't know. My son's trying to ask me something. I have no idea. You feed the dog dinner? Yes, I always do. Good gravy. Oh, sorry about that. That's what happens when you have kids. All right, so Cheddar was great off the bench as usual. And then Kaysen, it was good to see him have a really good night. He got to play a lot of minutes, but he'd had a rough couple games, so it was good to see him look really good tonight. And McKinney again looked great in the time that he played. Made all his free throws, 2 of 3 from 3, shot well in the field. Like, man, just a great game. A great game. It was good to see Isley Jr. get in there. He didn't get to take a shot. I was hoping he'd jack up a 3 at the end, but he didn't get to do that. And then Goodman and Cordell had a good alley oop dunk at the end of the game too. That was pretty cool to see. So let me stop sharing this. Actually, no, we'll leave it up and we'll do this. There we go. All right. So fantastic game once again. Brian Soul is here. What is up, Brian? Thanks for being here, my friend. It was a game, was it not? Fantastic game. That was a fun one. It's so nice to have games like that. I mean, we had some squeakers, some scary games against State, and well, State shouldn't have been scary. We let them make it scarier than it should have been, but Nebraska and then State down the stretch. It was good to have a game where they just dominated and did what they should do as the superior team. So great win for Michigan. That was a lot of fun. Not too shabby there. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, let's take a look at. I think while we're in here, I think I can go to schedule. Oh, let's see. I want to see if I can bring it up without having to change my window. Let me zoom back out. I think if I click on Michigan. Yeah, here we go. Let's look at the schedule. All right, let's zoom in here. Whoa, it's a little too much. Zoom in down to where we are at. Right here. All right, so there we go. Ooh, let's zoom in over a little bit more. All right, so Sunday afternoon we got Ohio State. Then they play at Northwestern, who just got shellacked by Illinois. So that should be a pretty good game, big win. We should be able to win both of those games. Then UCLA and Purdue will be good tests, followed by Duke, who will be another one. So those three in a row will be really good tests for Michigan, especially at Purdue. And then Duke's tough. So that's going to be a great, give us a great idea. That's going to feel like a tournament atmosphere. That's going to be a great game for sure. And then we got Minnesota, who we should be able to beat. And then we got a tough game against Illinois. Circle that one. That one's definitely going to be a big test for Michigan. Then they got at Iowa, which that's always tough to play at Iowa, football or basketball, even whether Iowa is great or not. And then we finish it up with a home game against Michigan State. So good stretch to come, and getting a win like this definitely never hurts. Let's see. Brian said when Yaxel's healthy, it's definitely a different game. Oh yeah, he's getting healthier and healthier, and that dunk he had, you guys, if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. When he just drove it and just dunked it with authority, and all the Penn State guys got out of the way. They didn't want none of what he was bringing. Oh man, I loved seeing that. So they're just clicking again. They're figuring things out. They're getting confident at the right time. And they could have a special end of the season and stretch here going into the tournaments. And I'm so excited about this team. So excited. It is awesome stuff. Speaking of Michigan State, I actually, if let me see, I don't think I don't want to mess with it, but I don't know if anybody saw, but he had another interesting game against Minnesota, which they lost to Minnesota, which is funny because a lot of them said, I don't mean to be cocky, but I feel bad for Minnesota because we're gonna be on fire, ready for that game, and they're gonna pay for this tough loss. And then they got beat by Minnesota. And Fears once again tripping people, yanking people down, and then you can find it on the internet. He pretended to stumble and kicked the guy defending him right between the nuts backwards. And it's amazing. Michigan State fans are still trying to say that that was an accident and that it's Dusty May's fault because he brought it up in his press conference, and now the refs are looking at Fears and the media, and it's like he actually was asked a question by media. He didn't bring it up, and he never said a name. He was very careful in his answer. So it's just amazing what some State fans they can see the same thing we do. Like, I don't know. That's wild to me. And then Izzo's press conference, of course, he talks out of both sides of his mouth. He kind of blames the same thing, says, well, when someone brings it up in a press conference and puts it out there, it's going to make people look at it differently. And it's like, but then he's saying, I pulled him out of the game. I might sit him next game. He needs to grow up some. But then he also says, I didn't really see it, so I don't know if it was anything or if it was an accident. Like, come on, bro. you're not talking about pulling this guy out and sitting him and saying he's immature if you don't know what it was. So it's like, just that was one thing back in the day. Like Izzo's, always irked me a little bit, but I respect him as a coach and as a winner, and like great for that program, great for the state. It seems like he's a good dude, does a lot of good stuff, but he wouldn't put up with that stuff in the past. So it's just like, even watching him on the sideline during the game, they clipped to him talking to Fears, and Fears is sassing back to him, and he just kind of is taking it and letting him get away with it. So I don't know. He's got trouble on his hands because Fears is going to hurt somebody bad, and then it's going to sour the rest of the country outside of East Lansing on Izzo if he doesn't get him under control before something bad happens. Because it was pretty blatant when he kicked the guy in the nuts. Luckily, the way the guy was standing with in his defensive position, I think he got all like the spot in between the nards and the backside. I think it's called the gooch, the taint. I don't know. Anyway, I think he got that, and he didn't really get him unless he was wearing a cup. I don't know. He didn't seem to react much, but he did try to get him right there. But yes, I agree. A bunch of wah wah. So it was just interesting. I thought all of that was very interesting. It's insane, the posts that you see some state fans making and trying to stick up for Fears and Izzo and act like it's all created from Michigan. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised the Big Ten or Michigan State or college basketball hasn't stepped in. Somebody is probably going to need to soon because he's going to hurt somebody. Let's see. Brian, I missed your comment earlier. You said prediction loss to Purdue and Illinois, win the rest. If that happens, I would be okay with it. As long as they were really tough, hard fought losses. Those are going to be two really hard games. And sometimes a team can learn a lot in losing. But it'd be awesome if they win them too. So we'll see. Those will definitely be the two. I feel like they can win the rest pretty safely and easily. But those two are going to be the ones where it's like, whew, man, if they could even split those, that would be such a big boom going into the tournament. So I agree with you though. Those are the two tough ones that I also have kind of circled as possible losses. But I mean, if they play the way they played tonight, yes, granted it was Penn State, but if they share the ball, they have fun, they don't turn the ball over, they play good defense, they play whistle to whistle hard like they did, and their shots fall. They can beat anybody, and they're tough to beat for anybody. So they could win them all. It just depends, but they're going to be tough games. Illinois is really, really good, and Purdue is good, and it's on the road. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting. That is for sure. That is for sure. Oh man. So let's see. Not much else to talk about in the game. I mean, it was such a good game. There was no no drama or anything. They just took care of business. Breast Cancer Awareness Night. It's always win to do that. Um, yeah, and I agree with Brian here. If we went out, I'm going to be upset. Our one loss was to Wisconsin at home. I know that loss is just that one loss is so ugly because they really should not have lost that game. It's just a perfect combination of things like us shooting poorly, not playing great perimeter defense, being a little lazy in our switching, and Wisconsin just going off, having guys just that could not miss anything. We play that game again, and maybe we win by 20 if our shots fall. I mean, and their shots don't. I mean, even on there was a lot of contested shots they were shooting where we did rotate and get there and put a hand in their face, and they still were draining them. So sometimes that's just how it goes, but that's why it's like that's why it was good to see them after that loss find other ways to grind it out and win, even when they weren't having their shots fall or when they had lapses on defense or turnovers, because that's what you got to do. Even if you're super talented like they are, you're going to have nights where things aren't going your way and you got to find a way to win. And it was awesome to see them do that the last few games. And now it's good to see them win by 40 again. When when they announced the spread and Michigan was plus 25, not plus 25, but they were picked, to win by a 25-point margin. I'm sure most people bet on Penn State to cover, not to win, but that they would lose by less than 25, just because Michigan hasn't looked like this since earlier in the year. So yeah, I don't know. I should have bet on Michigan winning by more than 25. Pretty sick. Although that probably wouldn't have won me much money because that was what it was supposed to be. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I'm sure they'll have quite a good spread against Ohio State going forward, and probably Northwestern. They'll definitely have a big spread, and then UCLA, Purdue, Duke. Those will be a little closer. Minnesota, they should have a big spread, and Iowa, and then Illinois, Michigan State. They might have a big spread if State keeps tripping over themselves down the stretch here. We'll see how that game ends. Regardless of the season ends, Big Ten tournament, we make it to the Final Four. It's home court advantage for a natty. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's hope they have a strong end. It'd be nice to win the Big Ten regular season and the tournament. We haven't done that for a very long time. And then to make it to the Final Four, in Dusty May's second year, I mean that would be a dream season already. And then if they make it that far and they're cooking, this team can go all the way. It's going to be disappointing if we don't, unless we run into a buzzsaw where we just run into a team like Arizona or somebody in the tournament that's really, really good and just plays a perfect game and we play hard and we lose close. Like, I can live with that. As long as we don't have a game where we lose because we go on one of those Michigan droughts where we don't score for 6 minutes in the second half or something and we end up losing a game we shouldn't. That will bum me out to end the season that way. So, knock on wood that doesn't happen. Because that's kind of like what happened. I don't know. It happens to this team a lot, but not so much this year. We haven't had as many of those droughts. So hopefully this team is able to rise above those kinds of things and have somebody always step up and get a bucket. But yeah, that would be pretty awesome, Brian. I'm with you. I would be pretty pumped if that happened. Let's see. Not a ton of big new news in for Michigan sports other than signing day and talking about recruits. Let's see. There was something as I was getting ready for this and pulling up some things. I'm going to check real quick. I thought somebody was going to the Ravens, and I was hoping it wasn't one of our current coaches. Oh, it is. Oh, I thought that's what I read. So you probably already heard it, but if you haven't, breaking news, Lou Esposito is going to leave to join the Ravens as their defensive line coach with Jesse Minter. Oh, that's a bummer. Well, luckily we have oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. What's our defensive Luis Powell? Luckily we have him. He's an awesome defensive line coach, but now I wonder if they'll bring in another defensive, like interior defensive line coach. But man, Esposito, everybody loved him, and I think his you can't fault him for taking that opportunity. That's pretty awesome. But I think his son just committed to Michigan too. I think I saw. So, I mean, obviously his son is in college, so he's not going to go to the Ravens. But that was a bummer. Yes, Brian. I was going to say I think that's what happened to them in Auburn, but then I couldn't remember if it was. But you're right. They went on that big drought, and otherwise they could have won. But last year's team was good, and it was awesome to get back to being a good team under Dusty May. But this team is way better than the team last year. So I don't know if we could have made it all the way last year, but we definitely should have beat Auburn. So that was a bummer. But Auburn was a good team. I just think they could have beat them if they hadn't gone on that long drought. So yeah, Lou Esposito on his way to the Ravens. That's a bummer. But we've got so many good coaches on this staff. Keep an eye out on my channel. I'm starting to slowly do some coaching staff videos talking about coordinators, but then even position group coaches and the analysts. I mean, a lot of teams don't bring in a bunch of assistants that can't go recruit because you can have 10 main position coaches and coordinators that can go recruit. But Michigan's just brought in all these assistants, so there's multiple guys at every position: defensive line, linebacker, secondary, safeties, cornerbacks, quarterback, receiver, all that stuff. And a lot of them are former offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, which is wild. A lot of teams don't do that. So I'm sure there's somebody that can step in and help kind of fill the gap for now. But luckily, I do think Powell is a fantastic defensive line coach. But it is a bummer. Esposito was awesome. He's a great recruiter. I think he was just named in the top 5. I think he was number 4. Um, by I don't remember if it was 247 or on 3 or some media thing named him as the top, and Tony Alford was in the top 10 as well. So we got some good recruiters. Kerry Combs is a great recruiter. But anyway, yes, yeah, I feel like if this team doesn't make it to the Final Four, that would be disappointing. Like I said, I mean, if they, we'll have to see how the bracket's set up, right? I mean, if they end up with a tough draw and they got to play somebody like Auburn or I don't know. I'm trying to think right now. We'll see how good Duke is. Um, but yeah, if they got to play somebody really good in the Elite Eight or something, and it's down to the wire, tough fought game, sometimes that's the way it goes. But if we get the number 1 seed, we should definitely make the Final Four. That would be disappointing. I agree with you, and I think they will. I really do. I think this team, Dusty May is good at keeping them focused. And I think that once the tourney time comes, that's just such a different feel. I'm sure you have that feeling where it could be your last game, like the Wisconsin game. That's in the middle of the season. They were flying high. They probably felt a little unbeatable, even though it was after the Penn State game they almost lost. Um, but then it's just different because if you lose, it's not a big deal. It is, but it's not. Your season's not over. I feel like this team will be ready. They'll all be focused. They'll all give it 100%, and they're going to kick butt in the tournament. So I think it's going to be an awesome year. I'm guessing Brian means only 2 teams scare me. Florida and Arizona, yeah. Yeah, Florida, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, Arizona does make me a little scared. They're a very good team. And then yeah, Florida, they're very very athletic team. That does worry me as well. So those will be the 2 teams to really watch out for. But we'll see. I mean, Gonzaga, although they just got upset, they were, have been a top 10 team all year, kicking people's butts, and everybody talks about them being a great team, and we destroyed them. We had a perfect game that night, was in that stretch where we just were unstoppable. But hopefully, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard when you watch your own team all the time. Think they're good, but you never know. But when you listen to media talk, who's not, especially, if you listen to the Big Ten people talk, of course they're going to talk up Michigan. But if you listen to just people with no skin in the game who aren't a fan of the Big Ten or a fan of Michigan and aren't like a fan of a team that doesn't like Michigan, just those people that just talk like, and they even talk about how fantastic this team is. So I think we're going to see something special down the stretch. Oh yeah, that's true. They do have dominant front courts, which is how we're able to kind of either manhandle teams like we did tonight or wear down teams that we have more talent there than, which is most teams. But those 2, that'll be tough. Mara and Lindenborg and Johnson all have to be on their game when we play those 2 teams. I'm sure we're going to run into one of them, if not both, on our way. So yeah, they definitely need to be on it. I agree with you. They definitely need to, and they have been. They've risen to the occasion. There hasn't been many games where our guys down low haven't played good. At least, sometimes Lindenborg would have a down game, but even then, like down game for him, in a close game where he plays the whole game. Like tonight, he had 6 points, but they won by 40. He barely played in the second half. But most games, he still gets 12, 14, 15 points, something like that. A good amount of rebounds. So even then, he has a solid game. But Mara's gone off. Johnson's always reliable. So I feel like we can stack up. But those games, it'll kind of even us out where they won't be able to take over the game. So our guards are definitely gonna have to hit their shots and have a good night like they did tonight against teams like that for us to have a chance. For sure, for sure. That is what's gonna have to happen. Oh man, all right. I'll get off here in a few minutes. I usually like to just come on for about 30 minutes, hang out, chat about things, and then get my kids to bed. Unless it's a weekend game, then we can go wild and I can stay on longer. But I'll talk for a couple more minutes. Throw anything in the chat if you have any questions. If you want to share anything, shout anything out, go ahead. But otherwise, yeah, it was an awesome win. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Brian. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Elliott is just he makes this offense go. You know, if he has a night like tonight where he doesn't need to score a lot of points, but he has a bunch of assists and no turnovers, we can be unstoppable. If he's turning the ball over and not shooting well, also, then we're in trouble. So yeah, he is the linchpin of our offense. I agree. Um, and he's such a good point guard when he's on. Such a good point guard. He can distribute like nobody, and he can play really good defense. He can be fantastic. So yeah, I mean, it's really you can the starting five. I mean, really any of them. Like if they all do their part and play well together, like they're just so hard to stop. So again, Michigan defeats Penn State 110-69. They moved to 21-1 overall, 11-1 in the Big Ten. Now at the top of the standings with Illinois. So that big game down the stretch there is looming large. Again, they'll be off till Sunday when they head to Ohio State, to Columbus to take on the Buckeyes. Should be able to win that game. So I will be back for that. I'll be on here. Let's see. That's going to be that's Super Bowl Sunday, right? Isn't the Super Bowl is this Sunday? I get so confused because the stretch is so long. Now I feel dumb that I don't know that for sure. But anyway, that'll be a fun game to watch in the afternoon. I'll for sure do post game chat, but keep an eye on my channel. If there's nothing going on and it's chill on that Sunday, I might be able to do a live chat during the game, and that would always be fun. So keep an eye out. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if he's knocking down some big threes and he's doing 10 plus assists, then yeah, that's a perfect game. But points don't matter as long as he's distributing and not turning over. He's doing his part. Okay, good. I thought it was, and then I got nervous that I was wrong. So Super Bowl. Leave me a comment whether you're watching this on replay or right now. Let me know who you think's going to win. I'm pulling for the Seahawks. Want my boy Mike McDonald to get one. I think that would be pretty awesome. And you know, I like Vrabel, but he is Ohio State, so it's a little Michigan versus Ohio State thing going on. But I think the Seahawks defense is just so good, and their offense is kind of like Michigan's was back in the national championship days of a few years ago, where they just are like a boa constrictor and just grind you down and just pull away in the end. So they don't make mistakes. Sam Darnold manages a game. He's got a lot of talent, and he just does what he's supposed to do, does his role, makes some big throws when he needs to, but then they can just pound you with all their good running backs. And then their defense is so good. So, and Mike McDonald's an amazing coach. So I think the Seahawks are going to win, and it might be ugly. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Drake May's awesome, and Patriots defense is really good, but I think the Seahawks are just going to be too much. So we shall see. Brian's with me. He says Seahawks. That's right. So I will for sure do a live post game chat after the Ohio State game on Sunday. But keep an eye out. I'll put a post out. I'll throw it on all the social media if I do end up doing a live during the game chat. So keep an eye out for all of that. But for now, have a great rest of your evening. Again, Michigan destroys Penn State 110-69, 21-1 overall, 11-1 in the Big Ten. Rolling Namari Burnett with 31 points. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Yeah, but that's not a winnable system. The only reason McDonald was good because he knew all the signs, right? Come on now. You got Jesse Minter, McDonald, and Harbaugh tearing it up in the NFL. Come on now. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Remember, I have videos come out every morning. I also have question of the days that drop every morning on YouTube. So be sure to check both of those out. I'll see you in the next video or the next live. And until then, as always, my friends, take it easy and go blue.